What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, March 18th, 2025, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now it is 15:41 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Eastern Europe and from the Middle East. So Trump and Putin held their long-awaited phone call this afternoon. They spoke for probably 2 hours. So I want to update you on that and all the details related to that. Also, earlier today, the French President Emmanuel Macron visited a base in eastern France close to the border with Germany, where he plans to station nuclear weapons and deploy two upgraded fighter jet squadrons capable of delivering French hypersonic nuclear weapons. And he also said that Europe and France need to prepare for war with Russia. Okay, so this is very, very serious. And right now, most of Ukraine is under a massive air raid alert. Apparently, Russia has launched a drone attack on Ukraine. Also, Russia has launched ballistic missiles into the Sumy region and potentially also Kiev. And this is coming just minutes after Trump and Putin concluded their phone call. So Putin did not agree to Trump's proposal for an unconditional ceasefire. However, Putin did agree to an energy and maritime ceasefire, and he agreed to a ceasefire in principle. Okay, so that's the initial reports that are coming in stating that Putin agreed to an energy and maritime ceasefire. And the Russian media agency TASS reported that Putin has called the key condition for solving the conflict in Ukraine a full cessation of military aid to Ukraine. So Russia wants Ukraine to no longer get any weapons from the West. That would be a key part to any kind of a peace deal. And also, TASS reported that Russia and the U.S. will immediately start negotiations on the next phase of the peace deal in the Middle East, and that Putin and Trump have discussed the need to stop the proliferation of strategic weapons. Putin and Trump, in their phone call, continued a detailed and sincere exchange of opinions on the situation around Ukraine, and that Putin and Trump have expressed mutual interest in the normalization of relations in light of special responsibility for providing global security. And Putin informed Trump that on March 19th, a prisoner exchange will take place between the Russian and Ukrainian sides. 175 prisoners will be exchanged. Okay, so that's what TASS is reporting. And the White House released a statement saying that Trump and Putin agreed on steps towards a Ukraine ceasefire, starting with an energy and maritime ceasefire, and that Putin already gave his military the command to do so, and that talks will continue immediately in the Middle East, and that both sides stressed improving U.S.-Russia relations and preventing Iran from threatening Israel. Putin and Trump agreed to stay in contact. And right now, this afternoon, we have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert. We have an elevated number of emergency action messages. We just had a tactical emergency action message, which is a message directed to some kind of an airborne unit, typically a bomber. So our nuclear forces are on high alert for some reason. I don't know if it's related to the Houthis, if we're going to be striking the Houthis again, or if it's related to Iran. I have to update you guys on Iran as well. Lots going on over there. But here you can see two B-52s over Louisiana this afternoon, flying really low. We also have a P-8 Poseidon that went out into the Gulf of America. And we have a nuke sniffer plane now airborne over the Midwest. These planes can detect radiation in the atmosphere. And John Hoover, he's one of the moderators in my chats in the live streams, is now in Kiev, and he said that there were massive air raid sirens going off just about an hour ago, and that he had to run and hide in the subway station. So looks like Russia is continuing to strike Ukraine even after Putin talked with Trump. And Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, will be opening a new nuclear weapons base near Germany. And speaking from that base today, he also said that France and Europe need to prepare for war with Russia. He said, the Luxeuil Air Base is about to be upgraded in an unprecedented way and regain its full role in France's nuclear deterrent, adding it will need a massive investment to house 2 squadrons of Rafale jets able to carry hypersonic nuclear weapons. Okay, so he's reopening this base to nuclear weapons. Okay, my guess is that this base used to have nuclear weapons during the Cold War era, maybe into the 90s, and then they closed it down and it no longer houses any nuclear weapons, but it looks like they're going to reopen that base, rearm it with nukes. Okay, that is very, very serious, and it's closer to Germany, which means that Germany can easily go to that base and potentially pick up French nuclear weapons if necessary. Okay, but the key thing here is that he's rearming this base that was closed down, didn't have nuclear weapons for decades, and it's close to Germany, closer to Russia. Okay, and this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP Shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP Shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP Shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video. And speaking today at that base, he said, our country and our continent must continue to defend and prepare themselves if we want to avoid war. We will continue to support Ukraine in the face of the war and aggression. So this is huge news, guys, okay? Macron rearming this base with nukes, okay? Hypersonic nuclear missiles that are going to be deployed from the Mirage 2000 fighter jets. Okay, 2 squadrons of them. And just the other day, Macron was talking about mobilizing society for a war or dealing with a crisis. He said that France cannot afford or doesn't have the infrastructure to start some kind of large conscription program, a mandatory military service program, but he would like to see the capability for France to mobilize, okay? So he doesn't want to expand the size of the French professional military, but what he wants is he wants the capability to quickly mobilize people and send them to the front line if necessary, okay? So France is preparing for war, guys, okay? And here we have Emmanuel Macron speaking at this base. Guys, this is historic. Okay, this is absolutely historic. We're watching history unfold before our eyes. This could be the beginning stages of World War III.
Au-delà de ces perspectives positives, je veux ici partager avec vous une conviction. Notre pays et notre continent devront continuer de se défendre, de se doter, de se préparer, si nous voulons éviter la guerre. C'est le choix que nous avons fait, que nous continuerons de faire. La dissuasion est à cet égard une composante historique et essentielle de la défense de la nation. Et c'est une chance pour notre pays.
So this is absolutely historic. And Germany's new Chancellor Friedrich Merz said Europe will defend itself from Russia. He said Putin's war is directed not only against Ukraine, but also against Europe, against our security and our freedom. We will defend ourselves against these attacks with everything at our disposal in the coming years and decades. Wow. Okay, we will defend ourselves against these attacks with everything at our disposal. Strong words there from Friedrich Merz. And the British Prime Minister's spokesperson said that the British Prime Minister spoke to Trump late last night to update Trump on the coalition of the willing and their plans to support Ukraine. And the Italian Prime Minister said that sending peacekeepers to Ukraine is a very difficult, risky, and ineffective option, and instead, she is now calling for providing Ukraine with security guarantees similar to NATO's Article 5. Wow. And we're hearing some reports coming in that Russia has begun an evacuation of their civilian population in the Belgorod Oblast along the border with the Kursk Oblast, specifically in Krasnaya Yaruga district, as reports surfaced last night that Ukraine launched a counterattack in Kursk along the border of Belgorod. And NATO members Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia plan to withdraw from the Ottawa Convention banning anti-personnel mines due to the military threat from their neighbor Russia, the four countries said in a statement. Wow, so Poland and the Baltics will withdraw from the Ottawa Convention, and that means they're going to start deploying anti-personnel mines along their border with Russia and Belarus. This is another sign that Europe is getting ready for war with Russia. And last night we had a Russian Open Skies plane and a Russian Doomsday plane take off from Moscow and go east towards Siberia. What's concerning about this is the Open Skies planes are special planes used to detect and track missiles and gather various types of intelligence information. So this could mean that Russia is planning to test an ICBM, potentially launch an Oreshnik. We'll have to wait and see. And we had some unusual reconnaissance in the Black Sea. We had a U.S. Air Force RC-135 perform a very deep reconnaissance mission in the Black Sea, flying very close to Crimea. This is very unusual considering Trump's stance on Ukraine and the fact that he stopped sending weapons 2 weeks ago and then restarted them. Well, it looks like the U.S. is back full force in their reconnaissance missions in the Black Sea. We haven't seen something like this since about 2 or 3 weeks ago, right before Trump pulled the weapons from Ukraine. And then before that, the last time we saw something like this was in the beginning days of the war. And Iranian sources report that the U.S. sent a message to Iran through various communication channels urging Iran to withdraw its military and intelligence vessels from the Red Sea, and also set a deadline to do so. Wow, so if Iran doesn't pull their military and intelligence ships from the Red Sea and stop providing intel to the Houthis, then the U.S. is going to strike Iran. And Trump warned Iran yesterday on his social media account that the U.S. will consider Houthi attacks as Iranian attacks. And the Iranian military intercepted an American spy drone near Iran's airspace yesterday. The drone was spying on Iran's nuclear facilities. Iran's Nour News reported that a U.S. spy drone retreated from near Iranian airspace after encountering Iranian fighter jets. And we are hearing that the U.S. drone was flying near the Bushehr reactor, which is right in the Persian Gulf. And we're also hearing that GPS jamming has now started around Tehran, which means that Iran is concerned about missile strikes on their capital, so they turned on their GPS jammers to try to jam the cruise missiles or whatever weapons that could potentially be used by Israel and the U.S. And all U.S. bases in the Middle East have now gone on high alert, and the U.S. Navy confirmed that the Fifth Fleet has started a period of sustained combat operations. And the IDF launched wide-ranging strikes in Gaza after Israel discovered Hamas was plotting another major October 7 style attack. The Gaza ceasefire is now officially over, according to the Prime Minister's office, and the Trump administration gave Netanyahu the green light to launch these massive strikes on Gaza. And Reuters reported yesterday that Iran placed their ballistic missiles on full combat alert after ballistic missile movement was detected by Western satellites. And there were reports from Yemen that several senior IRGC members were eliminated in the U.S. strikes on the Houthis the last few days, including members of the elite Quds force. And the Iraqi newspaper Al-Mada reported that the U.S. tipped off Iraqi leaders on a potential strike in Iran due to Iran's unwillingness to negotiate a new nuclear deal. Wow. And Al-Mada in Iraq reported that Iran-aligned factions in Iraq discussed last night the overthrow of the Syrian government and have been directed by Iran to prepare to target American bases in Iraq. Wow. And there were more intense airstrikes on the Houthis yesterday, and based on the Pentagon press briefing yesterday, these airstrikes will continue, and they're not just a one-off. And the U.S. airstrikes reportedly targeted secret Houthi weapons depots west of Sana'a, the capital, in addition to other weapons facilities around the capital, according to Saudi media. And there's unconfirmed reports that a meeting of the Iranian National Security Council took place yesterday, an emergency meeting. And Iran denied violating the UN arms embargo on Yemen, stating it has not supplied arms nor engaged in destabilizing activities in the region. Tehran added that the Houthis and Yemen authorities operated independently in their decision-making and actions. Yeah, right. And according to the Finnish Security Intelligence Service Supo, Russia is carrying out sabotage activities across Europe using proxy actors like criminals. These actions, including suspected Russian involvement in arson attacks in Lithuania and Poland and a possible intentional oil spill in Norway yesterday, are aimed at deterring support for Ukraine and influencing public opinion. And yesterday, the Belgian Navy patrol vessel Castor escorted a Russian destroyer, the Severomorsk, through the North Sea, protecting Belgian maritime assets from Russian sabotage. So there were 4 Russian warships that passed through the English Channel yesterday and went through the North Sea. That is very, very concerning. And Europe's satellite operator Eutelsat says it has perfect coverage over Ukraine amid concerns that Elon Musk's Starlink could possibly pull the plug on service in Ukraine. And the Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar said that the attacks on Gaza yesterday were not a one-day attack and that Israel will continue a major military operation in the coming days in Gaza, and that the initial decision to launch the strikes was made several days ago. And Israel has officially closed the Rafah border crossing, and airspace around the Gaza Strip to 10 kilometers has been closed. So very serious. And here we have some more Russian Air Force activity. Here you can see a Russian Air Force cargo plane going to Kaliningrad from Moscow and then returning, probably dropping off weapons and troops. Okay, Kaliningrad is heavily militarized. There's nuclear weapons storage depots there. There's hundreds of missile launchers there and air defenses. So Russia is preparing for an all-out war with Europe. And yesterday, Taiwan detected 59 Chinese warplanes flying around Taiwan, which is the most since October, which was a record. So this is the most in several months. Along with the 59 aircraft, 9 Chinese warships and 2 spy balloons were also detected. Among the aircraft, 54 had taken part in joint combat patrols on Monday. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said the actions were a stern warning to the Taiwan Independence Separatist Forces. 43 out of the 59 planes crossed the median line. And here we have a picture of one of these warships. Okay, here's another warship, Chinese warship, another Chinese warship here, and another one there. So this is very, very concerning. And the Turkish government announced today that they will never recognize Crimea as Russian territory. The British Foreign Secretary David Lammy said that if the Kremlin refused to sign a ceasefire deal, then the G7 countries will continue to put pressure on Russia. And I want to remind you guys that yesterday in Germany, medical institutions have been called upon to prepare for a major military conflict. So guys, things are escalating around the world. And here we have a picture of these new barge bridges that China has to do amphibious beach landings on Taiwan. Okay, so this is how they would move troops and tanks and heavy equipment onto Taiwan when they do their beach landings. Okay, and they were practicing with this over the last few days. This is very concerning. But I will be back later on tonight with more breaking news. Follow me on Telegram, Twitter, and Rumble. The links are in the description below this video. Also, check out my Patreon for $3 a month. You get ad-free videos, and I always post these updates to my Patreon first. So if you want to get these updates before they go to YouTube, and if you want to watch them ad-free, $3 a month on Patreon. And also check out my app. It's in the Google Play Store, and there's going to be a version for Apple coming out soon. It's 100% free. It lets me send out notifications when I post these updates and if there's anything crazy going on. But until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. And this update was sponsored by NYPrepper Supply. Guys, NYPrepper Supply is doing a massive sale on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithnYprepper.com, and the link is in the description below this video. They're selling their 3-month emergency food supply for just $600, so that's $100 off the normal price. And this is 3 months of food at 2,000 calories per day, has a shelf life of up to 25 years, and all of this is packed into 6 rugged water-resistant buckets, and free shipping is included. And they're also offering a disaster replacement warranty, so if your food supply gets destroyed by a natural disaster, they'll replace it for you with no charge. And they also will provide you with free survival books and information, including a natural disaster field guide, a survival Bible digital copy. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get $100 off the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video.